Okay.
Still here, mate.
Okay. Hello and welcome back to We Are Famous EFC. I'm joined by Dave from Falcon Blues. It is the match preview ahead of Everton's game against Doncaster Rovers at Goodison Park. So, Dave, how are you feeling going into this game on Tuesday?
Well, firstly, thank you for having me back on, Adam, as usual. It's always a pleasure to join you. I think Tuesday, we need a reaction from the last two games. Obviously, Brighton wasn't the best of results, and yesterday against Spurs was certainly not the result that we wanted or the performance. So I think on Tuesday, there's got to be just a reaction to everything, just to the whole last couple of weeks, because we've gone from being quite confident in how we're going to play, how we're going to set up, what kind of team we're going to be looking like for the rest of the season, to feeling downtrodden and a little bit, a little bit worried almost. So yeah, I think we've got enough to get through, but I think it'll just be very. We in a typical Everton fashion, we won't make it easy for ourselves. We never do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think that if we don't win the game, then there's going to be questions for Dyche with his
I think
job.
we'll win. I don't think there's a question of that. I think we've got more than enough. It doesn't matter who we play. I think Doncaster might give us a good first half, but I think Everton should have enough in the tank, to be getting through. We should be putting these teams to bed early. Do you know what I mean? We shouldn't be worrying too much about this one. I think the bigger one is looking to the following Saturday against Bournemouth.
Yeah, I agree. Who do you reckon will start this? Do you reckon Dyche would give him Jake O'Brien and the likes of Lindstrom and the other fella a start?
Yeah, I think he's going to have to. I think he's still going to keep with Michael Keane. I think that's his one vice that he will continue with. He may even bring Ashley Young back in at left back and give Michalenko a rest. Probably keeping Roman Dixon in at right back.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think this is an opportunity to bring in Jake O'Brien and get a little bit of minutes under his belt, get him used to playing at Goodison Park. And then the same with Iliam and Jai, Jesper Lindstrom. There'll be players that'll be, given Lindstrom's performance in midweek against Tranmere, it'd be looking likely that he will end up playing him in the cup games. Yeah. Just to bed him in, to get him ready. And I think he'll probably end up starting with Beto over Calvert-Lewin as well, because of I'm not going to say it's Beto's levels, but I think Beto just seems to thrive in these environments where he's in the thick of it against probably lesser opposition, shall we say, but also someone who's not going to be as much as a bully to him, and he can get through the game all right. Because that game against Tranmere, he wasn't good then, until it took him 80 odd minutes to actually get his footing in the game and start scoring goals. But like I say, I think we've got more than enough. Doesn't matter who comes up off the bench. You could bring Decore on. You could bring on Jack Harrison, Dwight McNeil, even Calvert-Lewin to an extent, and we'll score goals. We'll win the game. I think it won't be I don't think it'd be a question of us worrying, to be honest with you, don't Mike. But I think the debutants will definitely be at Goodison on Tuesday. Will be, as you said, Jake O'Brien, Jesper Lindstrom, Iliam and Jai. They'll definitely see Goodison Park on the Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. And I do think that if Jake O'Brien does start and it all goes to plan how Dyche wants it, then I think that's no exception and let him start against Bournemouth at Goodison if we win this game. And I think that he should, however we play on Tuesday, then I want that starting 11 perhaps to start on Saturday against Bournemouth, and hopefully we can get our first win under our belts. But the tactics lately is abysmal and poor. But I'm looking forward to the game, and I'm going to go with 3-0 to Everton because it's a Doncaster side who's poor, I believe.
Well, I was talking to Dan, 18 Dapper, who's one of the Doncaster Rovers YouTube channels. I was on his channel the other day. The video will probably be up online tomorrow. And we were talking about the game because we talked about the first half against Doncaster last season when we played them at their place, and it was it was absolutely abysmal first half of football, and it took us to we went a goal down, and it took us to get a goal down to actually give us a kick up the arse that we needed. So I think Doncaster are going to think they're going to get at us, and I think they won't make it easy for us. And Everton never make cup games easy for themselves against lower opposition where we should be cruising 3 or 4-0, like you say, in the opening half hour. Before the first half is done, you'd expect to be home and hosed and, game won and we're not panicking. But I agree with your scoreline. I think that at least 2-0. And also, but I just don't want Everton to make it difficult for themselves like we always do against these kinds of sides.
Yeah. I think what we need to do is start really good on the ball, create as much chances as we can, then eventually get them in the back of the net. Put pressure on the other team as we do for the about 10 minutes. Then we sit back, let them come to us. But I think Dyche needs to come up with a new game plan. Whether that's just attack through the whole game and don't bother sitting back. We concede. But I want to see more goals. But the future on Dominic Calvert-Lewin, by the looks of it, now is unsure because Newcastle have now put a fresh bid in. Then transfer deadline day ends on Friday. What do you think on that?
I think this is Everton's biggest problem. If Calvert-Lewin goes, who are you replacing him with? Who are you replacing him with in time to replace him with? Do you know what I mean? Because knowing Everton, like we all know Everton, this deadline day is literally going to be 11 o'clock, and he moves to Newcastle or what I was hearing this morning, Chelsea. At the same time, we won't be doing any due diligence on another player. We'll just be waiting for the money to come in and then, carry on from there. But the ball's in Everton's court. I think with Calvert-Lewin, I don't want to see him go because I don't see us getting a replacement for him in time, which then leaves you with Beto as our main striker, Neil Maupay, who'll probably go out on loan as well before Friday, it would seem. So it's a tough one. Everton have got to be proactive as soon as they know that a bid is going in and Calvert-Lewin is going here, there, and everywhere for the medical or whatever. Everton should be straight in on that and going, okay, right, we're after this player now. We want him. Dominic, this is what's going to happen. You're going to have to move now. You're looking at contracts. You're looking at you're looking at other clubs. We're looking at other players, mate. It's tough, and it'll probably come to it where Everton can agree a fee for a player, but then we can't get it over the line because Calvert-Lewin decides he doesn't want to go because of his demands aren't met. I think it'd just be so typically Everton that we'd end up being stuck with him come Friday. If we're stuck with him, we're stuck with him, and he's got to really pull the finger out and get back in the goals because we owe him nothing, but he owes us a lot more than he thinks, and that's Calvert-Lewin's biggest problem at the moment.
Yeah, I agree. But the likes of Amanda Royce, who we've been linked up with, I don't think that he's going to be even suitable for Sean Dyche or his playing style, and it's going to be it's going to be a stressful couple of days at the club, and also if we're not picking up results, that's going to add on with the fans, then with Dyche and that run circle again. But that yesterday, what I watched against Tottenham, that was berserk. That shouldn't have happened. That for the 20 minutes to 25. I was predicting for that to happen, but
you've got to realise. I mean, Everton are light years away from these kinds of teams. Unfortunately, I expect us to lose at Spurs. I always do, because we don't get results at Spurs. All I expect is effort and turning up, and that's something we haven't done for the last 2 games, and that's the worry for a team that is managed by Sean Dyche. Do you know what I mean? He's I'm sure he'll be fuming with the players as well, as much as we are, but do you know what I mean? You don't expect that from a Sean Dyche side. That they're not the kind. That's not the kind of performances you would expect. But those last 2 performances, I mean, he's blaming the players, but that's his tactics. That's his setup. You know what I mean? He put a team in with absolutely no pace. He's relying on the likes of Dwight McNeil to play in the middle, and he's a left-footed player. He's so left-footed that he may as well not have a right foot. You know, he may just hop around the pitch. It's that bad, because he's so one-footed. It's criminal, and the plays are breaking up. The pace. You know, the game is going backwards because of him. He's having to go at the fans and things like this as well. And there's got to be more to it. You know, it's like you can't just have a go at the fans because, well, we're paying. This is what we pay for. We're paid to be. We pay to be entertained, but we pay to watch these players, and we're paying them good money, and you're not giving us anything for our return, and that's the worry. And then, but Dyche needs to take this seriously as well, rather than going, oh well, the fans wanted Europe. Not one Evertonian has mentioned Europe at this point. At this point in time, no one has said, I want Europe. Everyone has said, I want a comfortable season where I can just relax. It's the final season of Goodison, do you know what I mean? So, like I said, from at the start of this, though, Adam, the two bad results they're gone. Let's have a good result. Let's have a good reaction on Tuesday, and a better reaction on Saturday, so we can go into the international break with a little bit of, okay, we're not having to panic for the next 2 weeks, and we're not hitting the panic button too much, and we can settle into the league, which is what we need to do. We need 2 wins here this week. We need a win against Doncaster. We need one on Saturday against Bournemouth. Simple as that.
And hopefully that'll build the confidence, the mentality going into the Bournemouth game as well. But honestly, I don't even know who to blame at this point, because I was watching another one Blue Boy Network with Mike and John. They're blaming Sean Dyche on the recruitment team. Other people are blaming the players. So it's just going to go around in a clot, in a circle. But it is what it is for now until we get John Texters in.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see, mate. I mean, you can blame everybody. You can keep going, like you say, going round in circles. You blame Dyche, you blame the players. Do you know what I mean? It's you brought in these players, so play them. Do you know what I mean? You're buying the players, so either you play them or you don't want them.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to play Jesper Lindstrom because you don't want him, terminate his loan and get rid of him and go get someone else who you want, because it's not working. You know, we just spent 15 million for Iliam and Jai, nearly 20-odd million for Jake O'Brien. These aren't here to sit on the bench. Play the lads. You know, they can't do any worse than the likes of Decore, than Michael Keane, than, you know, Dwight McNeil, than Jack Harrison. Give them a go. They might surprise you, and that's the thing with him. He's stubborn. He's a very stubborn manager, and that's the worry, that he continues to be stubborn throughout this time, and especially now when we're in a bit of a rough spot.
To be honest, I don't think that Dyche even wanted Jake O'Brien. I think it was Kevin Thirlwell who wanted him, and Dyche was like, no, so I'll sit him on the bench because he's the manager. Because if Dyche wanted him, really, I said to myself then, he would start over Keane, perhaps.
Like you said, there's players there that aren't ready that aren't Premier League ready, and we saw that with Lindstrom and Njai. They really aren't. Jake O'Brien, I think he was probably pegging on it being Branthwaite was the one out the door. So I think it's all a case of let's see how the next week goes. Whether Branthwaite is still a player at Goodison, whether Calvert-Lewin is, and then go from there. I think if Branthwaite does go either now or in the next window, then, you know, Jake O'Brien has to step in alongside Tarkowski. But it's all a matter of ifs and buts at the moment, mate, and that's the problem.
All right, thanks very much for coming on, Dave. Subscribe to Falcon Blues and subscribe to We Are Famous EFC. That's all we've got time for you this evening. Subscribe to both channels and we'll see you very soon in the next video. Nice one,
Cheers,
Dave.
Adam. Nice one, mate. Thanks a lot.